Good afternoon, Morayta, and welcome back to your favorite podcast every afternoon, an afternoon in Morayta. How are you, our dear listeners? So, in our first episode, we talk about the struggles of the media or the media killings. And today, we will talk about a very relevant topic. With modern media, everyone can become what they call a journalist, and that everyone can be a source of news with their devices. But the question is, are those content creators the new journalists? Are they credible? Good afternoon. I am Jarl Villalobos.
Good day, my name is Sai.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kate Stephanie Taragoza.
Hello, my name is Hayden Villarico.
And my name is Jasper Tan.
And this is episode 2, Content Creators versus Media Practitioners. So Sven, do you want to talk first?
Yes, both professional journalists and bloggers' main goal is to circulate information. The main difference that in blog is that in blogging, it is informal, while journalism is formal. Bloggers do not need to look at the entire topic and often say opinionated words. On the other hand, journalists have to evaluate information and the authentication of it before releasing it to the public. One example of the famous blogger who is spreading fake news regarding the iconic artist Wang Od is Nas Daily. Nas Academy, a learning platform put up by Yasin, the owner behind Nas Daily, created a course in which Wang Od is said to reveal all her rituals, tools, and methods for making traditional tattoos. It is later proven to be fake. In my opinion, the new media has its own upside and downside. We just need to learn how to fact check to avoid fake news. What can you say about this, Kate?
For me, let's talk about content creators. Content creators is the name of a new class of people who have always existed. They were once known as journalists, or publishers, or broadcasters, or artists. Most people are content. Most people are content consumers. That's our job. But content creators used to be in the minority. Before the internet, most content was created by professionals like journalists and publishers and broadcasters. On the internet, no one needs to be licensed from the government to become a creator of content. So now we have more content than ever before. Millions of amateurs are engaged in producing their own written or audio and video materials for the web every day alongside the professionals. A few years ago, most content was produced by professionals. Now, anyone can be a content creator. Now, for the journalist. We often take journalists for granted. We assume that there are more of them than we need. We assume that as long as there is a political institution or corporation or even a non-profit, the ones that aren't good enough to answer our questions will be us soon enough. We don't stop to consider that just like anything else in the world, you get what you pay for. And since journalists are also human beings and only capable of producing a limited amount of content over the course of a single day, month, or a year, there really is no substitute for quality in this new connected world where most of our time is spent on social media, we need someone who can steer our attentions towards relevant content, not just to point out the facts that is available. The media practitioners are the ones who should be in the focus, not the creators. Well, that's me. How about you, Hayden? What's your take about it?
Well, quite similar to yours. An example is during the COVID-19 pandemic, there was misinformation and fake news on the internet, especially in social media from content creators or media influencers. Because, as we all know, Filipinos are very adamant about social media. They tend to believe those who are in mainstream. There is some benefit to this though, as some medical professionals are disguised as influencers, like, for example, Dr. Adam and Archilagra, who have put down the false narratives of cures that have been said to prevent COVID-19 symptoms. However, there is a downside to this. The codes of ethics don't apply the same to influencers compared to journalists. So this means that it gives them the freedom to spread misinformation without consideration and forethought. For example, is DJ Luno. In a live stream, out of frustration, he claimed that mass testing is a trial and error vaccination method, Because, quote unquote, if you claim the vaccine is 100% effective, why conduct mass testing? That's what he said. And of course, this is false, but this instilled fear to his followers and supporters. Later, he was corrected that mass testing doesn't mean they'll be testing drugs on the person, and he apologized for his comments afterwards. This isn't to say, though, that broadcasters aren't part of this. A few examples are Karina Sanchez Rojas and Ralphie Tulfo. Karina revealed in an Instagram post that she used ivermectin, a medication for parasitic worms, to prevent her COVID-19 symptoms. But many medical professionals have debunked its supposed effectiveness. But, of course, as a known public figure in the Philippines, many Filipinos have taken, I guess, her advice and used it as part of their weekly medication. And Tulfos also admitted to using the same medication as Karina. So now, Jasper.
To end our podcast, content creators are different from journalists. It is true that these content creators can now release news and related information, but the people must be aware that these contents can possibly be biased, opinion based, fake news, or subjective. Though it's hard to filter these kinds of social media content because of how the social media algorithms work. Uh, these content creators also have a great marketing strategy that makes some people turn their back on news media outlets. In my opinion, viewing content creators as journalists must not be acknowledged and it must be stopped. We all know how the media can have a great effect on the people and how to manipulate their minds. Uh, it is important that the people must be educated that not everything that they see in social media are facts. Like we always say in Institute of Arts and Sciences, Department of Communication, may alam at may pakialam. That's all.
So that's all for today's episode. Content creators versus media practitioners. I hope you learned something from our podcast. Thank you for listening and watching. This is an afternoon Morayta. See you in the next episodes. Bye.